Alright guys, this is what I'm calling the Holy Trinity wall. So happy that our 355 from 1958, the first one ever made, is documented in some of the Gibson books. Just an absolute beauty and pleasure. I'm going to take her apart in this video and I'm going to just check the pups and harness and make sure it's all legit. She's flanked by her friends from 1959, 335 dot. Also a beautiful, what has been up until now my favorite guitar almost. It's a great guitar. Beautiful, thick baseball bat neck. And then what looks like a 345 because of the board is actually a 335 from 1960. This was that RCA studio guitar that had a custom ordered board, so it's a 335 by label, and it is also a fantastic sounding guitar. So I don't know which to choose to play every time I pass this wall, but for now this is kind of the favorite. It's a gorgeous piece of workmanship from the golden era, and I will do a quick check of the PAFs and stuff, and taped a lot of it so you guys can follow along, so stay tuned here. Alright guys, we got the 355 from 1958 up on the bench. Gonna do a little inspection to see if she is all what was promised. It's always fun to go over these things, inspecting every little piece. These 58s had that low neck angle, so they had the shaved, more narrow ABRs, which is kind of cool. And everyone knows these 355s were all cherry. Luckily this one's mono. And it's fun to kind of do the archaeological dig and dive here, and you can see below the Bigsby, which is obviously the original one, what that cherry color looked like before the sun came out. So this is going to be fun. What I'm going to do next, I'll do a pause here, but I want to check under these pickups. The covers have been off, as you'll see on my next video in a second. And I want to check, take them off again, clean up the solder, and see if by chance someone has violated those poor little guys. So I'll come back in the next video once the pups are out and the soldering iron is hot. Stay tuned. All right, part two here. I got the pups out. You can see they're patent applied for, of course, being a 58. 355, but I don't think those are factory solder joints, obviously, unless Jimmy or Martha or whoever was working at the plant tied one on that morning. Got one of the pots out. Just gonna check to make sure they've been swapped, and just by the dust and aging, I can't read the pot codes anywhere, but just by the aging and the joints, I don't think those have been swapped, although I haven't seen this white wire on one of these old guys before. But I'll get that cleaned up and get those pots back in. Just wanted to double check someone hadn't swapped out stuff on me. And so now get the soldering iron heated up, and we will pop those covers off and get back to you. Kind of fun to see the extent of these bikini lines on this 355. Going from that lovely cherry to this lovelier tangerine amber. I've rarely seen a finish that has aged this beautifully. Interestingly enough, this George Goebel L5CT from 1958/9 also used to be cherry. It's got the bikini line under there, and the bridge as well, red. But interesting how that dye didn't really die. Well, it did die. It didn't do its job, but I'm glad it didn't. It looks just great. Okay, now we're gonna pull off the pups. All right, we got the covers off the 355, and I just want to make sure they may have been open before. I think they were anyway, but with little black light, do the telltale PAF sticker glow test. hard to tell on the camera, but they're glowing from inside the room here. So stickers legit. It's got the tool marks. Those are all good signs. The winding taping also should glow, which obviously they do nicely. So they haven't been rewound. Good news, to my knowledge. And then I'm gonna check one more thing. Come back to you in a second. All right, so these guys literally passed the smell test. You know, if you bend down and smell the bobbins, they should have a sour milk smell. And obviously these aren't fake, but just in case, if they were shiny and new, you might be able to tell. Also, the tape is the original tape. Lead wires look good, double black. The other thing you might look for, this one's a good example of where this hole is bigger than this hole. On some of the copies, they're the same size, maybe two small ones. You should be able to see inside the wire. This one, to me, I wish it were a little bit purple, more purple, but it's hard to tell unless you take it off, and I don't want to do that. But these test well on the micrometer, micrometer, 8.2, I think it was an 8.5. Should be between like 8 and 9. So let me come back with the gauze meter just a second. All right, last little check here with our measuring the strength of the magnets in gauze. And you want to look for a long magnet. Sometimes people pull out these magnets and put them in other pickups. Those look pretty legit, sand cast, longer. They were 2.5 inches, the magnet wide in the early ones, and I think in 60 or 61, for whatever reason, they cut that magnet size down by, I believe it was 1/8 of an inch. Somebody correct me. But in any case, we're going to measure the magnet strength. Hopefully they're consistent. With a little lead there on the magnet itself. 124. Check out the neck. And we got a little bit hotter. If I can get the gauge on there right. Apples to apples, 120, 150. Yep, so what are they supposed to be? I don't honestly know. But if they came back, it was like 10 or 5,000, I'd know something was wrong. So good to go. These are legit. The pots are from 58, all original, so that's a good check for validity.